Welcome to the St. Louis Park Rec Center and tonight's exciting North Suburban Boys Conference hockey matchup as the Orioles host from the north, the Chisago Lakes Wildcats. I'm John Fromm, along with my cohorts John Basil, the assistant coach, and Dan Bissonette, and we're proud to bring you tonight's game. Bays looking forward to tonight's tilt. Orioles came off a big stretch last week with 5 games, had a couple days off here. What do you expect for tonight?
I think this Chisago team we've seen before. They're a big team. They play physical. They like to run a 2-man forecheck. I think we're going to see a really physical game tonight, but 2 teams that can each potentially pull out the win. Great.
And you can see that the flag bearer has made his way to center ice. We've got starting lineups that are beginning here. For the Wildcats from Chisago Lakes, number 35, Bryce Thompson, the sophomore, will get the call in net today. There you take a look at the 3 amigos, all dressed in their orange and black attire. Danny saying hi over there.
Frommer, I got to mention the flag bearers, Bobby Ordas. And
is that Christian's younger brother?
Christian's younger brother, and it's nice to have him go out there and represent the Orioles.
That's great. Well, I was going to say, too, if you take a look at the lineup for them, they're led by first-year head coach Paul Gibson, who's in his first year as head coach at Chisago Lakes. He's no stranger to Mr. Basil here, as he played his college hockey at UW River Falls, where he won a national title in '88. So.
Yeah, Mr. Gibson was a forward for that River Falls team, which was made up of a lot of Canadians. And he happens to be not one of the Canadians, but the majority of that team was Canadians.
There you see senior goaltender Ryan Fromm, who gets the call tonight. Eric Spiker, a little bit down with a little sore groin, so he's not available for backup or play duty today. There you take a look at Charlie Hills. Nice to see the guys coming out without the helmets, too. Love when you can see a close-up of their mugs there.
Absolutely. Of course, as Frommer comes out, there's TJ Holfen coming out to the blue line starting, but Frommer's coming off a big game and a very tight 2-1 loss.
Yeah, great game that the guys had on Saturday. They took the road show up to Spring Lake Park and really outshot Spring Lake Park by 4 or 5 shots, and just a really fluky goal went in off a bad hop. But I know the guys were really encouraged, especially after we had called the Cooper game last week and didn't materialize the way the team had wanted. But Sean nipped that in the bud and dealt with it on Friday.
Yeah, it was a great effort against Spring Lake Park, and you lose on a fluky goal, but it was they'll be ready to go tonight, I got a feeling.
I'm going to step away for a minute for our national anthem. Back here at the Rec Center. We want to encourage you to know that this game is broadcast live tonight over the internet. I know we've got a special guest that's dialed in all the way from Finland tonight. Bays, why don't you talk a little bit about your exchange student Jesper and send out a special shout to his mom and dad tonight.
Yeah, it's always nice when we do have these games live. Jesper's father over in Finland emails me and asks if the games are live, and it's always a special treat, I think, for him and his family when they are live. Now they have to stay up because they're watching them at about 4 a.m. Finland time, but they get an opportunity to see their son out there and to see him get a few shifts and to play a little hockey here in the States.
Yeah, and he had a nice goal on Saturday, Park's only goal, as you take a look at the goalie bio. From 113-1 on the year, relatively low, 3.17 goals against. Park hasn't given up a lot of goals this year. They've only allowed 66 goals on the season. And Bryce Thompson has seen 4 starts, but a sparkling 1.91 almost said ERA, goals against average, and a nice,
not quite baseball season yet, Farmer.
and a 919 save percentage. Fromm comes in with a 903 save percentage. So. Exciting North Suburban action. You're going to take a look at the Lushenko line out here. Trevor Lushenko, centering a junior, centering his 9th grade brother Landon Lushenko, and Blake Lazzotti to start things off. And here is Trevor Lushenko, number 7, the 3rd in a long line of Lushenkos. And for the Orioles, they're going to start out with the Luka Savage line. As you see, Luka Savage, Halfin, and also Miles Malarkey out there. And this is Luka Savage corralling the puck near the corner, but taken away by the speedy Lazzotti, number 28 on your screen there. Puck is shot out cross rink, and Halfin unable to chop that out, but Lushenko being pinned nicely against the wall there by Charlie Hills, and a nice deke that time, and a nice breakout for the Orioles.
Yeah, early on in this game, we certainly want to win the battles of the blue, and that means when it's inside our blue, we want to get it out. And then, of course, as Chisago's trying to come out, we want to put it back deep in their zone. Icing on Chisago here.
That was C.J. Haskins, number 6 for the Wildcats, icing the puck. He's also one of their freshmen. When I had a chance to talk to Paul Gibson, the first-year head coach, he was mentioning that 11 of their 12 returning top scorers from last year are returning. They had a young team last year, only won 10 games, but they're off to a nice 12-7-1 record on the year. So should be a good challenge for the Orioles and a good North Suburban matchup. Puck is battled on the far wall there. You've got, the second unit out there for Chisago Lakes with Spiked, Thompson, and this is Zachary Lambrecht. Far side shot. Ooh, and a nice pad save as Gillespie unloaded a cannon there. Gillespie shoots it down low as the Wildcats complete a change there, and Knack goes off the ice. Puck is shot forward and taken away momentarily by Sargent, one of the captains for Chisago Lakes, 24. He's a returning all-conference performer for the Wildcats. Held in at the blue line by Brady Thompson. He's their leading scorer for Chisago, number 11. Take a look for him. Just underway here at the rec center. 15-20 are remaining in the first period as Sargent regroups at his far blue line. Plays catch with his defensive partner Reynolds. And unfortunately for them, nobody home on that entry. We should mention, as you take a look at TJ Remford trying to break the puck out, this is Thompson again with speed, and we do have a momentary offside. Orioles are down a couple players today. We didn't get a chance to talk about it, but on Thursday night's broadcast, Danny and John, there was a collision that provided an injury that occurred to Noah Fortmeyer. He missed Saturday's game, and he's still in street clothes tonight. He's obviously the top blue liner for the Orioles, but gives a chance for Casey Plender and TJ Remford to grab some more ice time.
Absolutely. Noah's a significant loss to the squad on the D, but as you say, it gives an opportunity for some of the youngsters to step up, play a little defense. That's Jesper with the puck there. A nice shot into the net. There it is.
Oh, and a nice backdoor pass by Joey Kramer as he finds Jake Beer, and Jake tries to rattle it home. We're going to have a penalty whistled on a high stick infraction. Not sure if, or maybe just played with a high stick. Could be.
I think Jesse just got it at, or it may have been Jake Bear caught it high on a stick, and then it came down, and Jesper touched it, and it'll just bring the face off to the other end.
But as we mentioned, the Orioles going to roll with usually 4 defensemen here. As you take a look at Gillespie's last shot off the draw. So a lot of ice time for Remfer and Plender, the sophomores, along with Charlie Hills and the senior blue liner out there, Frank Jermusic, as well for Park. Here's Lucas Savage, the junior. The Orioles' leading scorer goes left and right, going to his forehand, swings it around the net, passes nicely to Plender at the point, who goes to the backhand and is just able to cycle that down off the far wall where it's stolen away by Lushenko. Reynolds with some speed, unable to break it through the blue line area, but here's Lushenko at the red line. By himself, we'll see what he does as he's momentarily erased by Plender there. 13:54 remaining in period 1. Nice cross-ice pass and a beautiful catch by Halfin on that. I believe that was Lucas Savage who delivered that perfectly on TJ's stick. Here's Gillespie again. Brandon Gillespie shoots it in. On the weak side there, he's getting some offensive support by Lambrecht. 13 for the Wildcats. Shot on in and easily steered away by Fromm. Kicked up the near wall by Sargent, who holds it in for the Wildcats. Sargent and Lambrecht playing catch with the puck, and Jermusic steps in and puts the kibosh on that momentarily. Puck is shot out front, and I'm not sure that hit a side of the net and skipped out front. Almost a chance for the Wildcats. Lukashavitz fakes that slap shot, but he has the puck taken away that time by Gillespie.
Yeah, Gillespie did a nice job of filling in that vacant area where Halfin was coming for a drop pass.
And we see Jermusic with a cross-ice entry pass as he does find Curtis Greenbush on the line change there. And Greenbush swings it out front. Nice job. And I believe that was Nicky Hames who was able to fire that. And Nick Owens are out there on the change as the 7-9-11 line is out there. Greenbush battling hard behind the net. Jacob Spike countering for the Wildcats. And Spike does receive the return pass, but nice job by Hills, able to stop that entry into the offensive zone for the Orioles. Hames and Owens over to Greenbush. They gain the far blue line. Puck is swung around while Charlie Hills tries to pinch in and hold that, and indeed he does. Momentarily, here's Hills the junior. Cross rink, nobody home. The Orioles are able to complete their line change as Jesse Knutson comes flying off the bench and attempts to make an on-ice check on one of the Wildcats. Hills again back in his own zone as he's helped out momentarily by Plender. Sargent tries to swing it wide, goes all the way down, but we will not have an icing whistled as we are inside of 12 minutes here in the first period, and we're going to have an icing whistled here. John and Dan, initial thoughts? Both teams just kind of feeling each other out at this point.
Yeah, I think both teams have come out and they're playing a little feeling out game, but I think they're both working hard. There's been some nice plays. There's been some attempted drop passes, some good defensive play by Chisago, but so far a pretty even game.
Chisago comes into this game punching in about 4.3 goals a game. They've scored 85 goals on the season and allowed 53, while the Orioles have scored 40 goals on the season and given up 66. Little break this time momentarily for Chisago Lakes as one of their youngsters, By and O'Connor, enter the far zone for them. Puck is shot down and corralled, and Jermusic behind his own net. Not able to break it through, but this is TJ Rempfer, able to swing it to the wide side and stolen away that time by the Wildcats. Here's number 10, Chambers. Ryan Chambers down in the corner. The nice cross-ice pass and a redirect, and a nice job back-checking, I think, that time. Was able to secure the puck for the Orioles. One of the youngsters for Chisago, number 22 out there, that's Taylor O'Connor. He's only 5'6" in height, but he's a senior, so he's been around a lot. So.
Yeah, he looks like a youngster, but he reminds me of one of our players that we coming up through the band program, and that's Mr. Neudecker.
Bauer. Right.
Bauer is very small and but can play the game, and just like this O'Connor kid.
And here's the Lushenko, and Lazzotti line, the 3 L's out there. Here's Trevor Lushenko, the junior, behind the net. Drop pass, puck right in front. Sargent from 15 feet, shot on net. Fromm able to see that cleanly. Behind the net to the other Lushenko. This is Landon down low. He's got Lazzotti out there as they work the cycle in the corner. But Charlie Hills is able to step up and break the zone. And Lucas Savage trying to win a race to the puck, and indeed he will. Oh, a beautiful attempt at a bad angle shot by Greenbush.
Yep.
With speed up the near wall. Here's Jacob Spike, number 8. Nice shot directed. Oh, excuse me, that was number 3, Colton Reynolds, the defenseman, who stepped up with a nice job from his defense slot. I can see why Reynolds has punched in 4 goals and 3 assists from his blue line spot after watching that rush.
There's an ice on Chisago, which will give us an opportunity to set up a draw in the offensive zone.
Guys, this might be the last time the Orioles and the Wildcats play in the as conference opponents. There's been a lot of talk that the North Suburban's going to change in future years with, I think, Chisago Lake, St. Francis, and North Branch all leaving. So maybe these guys can keep their rivalry and can keep competing.
Yeah, and I'm sure as if the conferences do end up changing, there'll be some of these rivalries that were well balanced, that the coaches kind of do one year one of the teams is at home, the next year they go up to Chisago, and you keep some of these rivalries going. Obviously, a lot to be determined yet on those conferences, but there's a lot of talk about it right now.
Gillespie with the off-angle shot there. He did have some offensive support as Lambrecht was cruising on the 2-on-1, but he didn't get it to him. So just over 9 minutes remaining in period 1 here at the Rec Center. Remper along with Jermusic back on the blue line for St. Louis Park. Spike will check. Ooh, nice job that time by Spike as he got some offensive support by Thompson, and they were able to create an offensive chance. You and I talked, this first unit for Chisago, the Thompson, Spike, Brayfogle line, came into this game with 39 of the 85 goals and over 50% of the goals overall for their team. So be interesting to see how the Orioles try to contain or at least corral this unit. Nice stick work that time by Spike, and you can see the cycle working beautifully by the Wildcats. Back to Spike again in the corner as he and Thompson playing a game of catch. But TJ Halfin steps up along with Lucas Savage, and they're able to gain the far zone. Here's Thompson again on the steal with Spike, and the long flowing locks of Jacob Spike able to bring the puck down. Kind of remnants of the late 70s there, and a little Peter Frampton look he's got going on.
Yeah.
You don't see the long locks so much anymore in the hockey game. The mullet look kind of, Danny. Yeah. Here's Lucas Savage on the far wing with a shot just wide of the net. Held in back to the point for Hills with a one-time wrister. Lucas Savage able to get a stick on the redirect, but nothing home there. And Malarkey's pass to the point skips Casey Plender's stick, but Hills is able to break it out there. And one of the smallest young men on the ice, there's Mr. O'Connor, who shoots it in for the Wildcats. Hills and Plender playing catch in their near zone. As Charlie will try to bank it. Nice job with a kick save as Haskins is able to hold it in momentarily for the Wildcats. And here's number 22 again, as we talked about. Here's O'Connor with the puck pushed on net wide, that time by Chambers, and the Orioles will try to break it out, but Hills will break it out. Charlie's really stepped up on his offensive rushes a lot more as the season's progressed and gained a lot more confidence rushing the puck up. Has that been something Coach Stewart along with Coach Rosine have really talked to him about?
Yeah, and Coach Peterson, what they want him doing is skating to pressure. If they're going to lock our wings or lock our center and the D have open ice, skate to that pressure, take that real estate, suck someone in, and make a good pass.
And here's a break momentarily for the Wildcats as a stop and go move. Beautiful stop and go move by Blake Zazzotti, the freshman, as Lazzotti corrals the puck again. I got to give a shout out to Lazzotti, though. He really faked our defenseman on that and then went back and got it through.
And then he shot it across the grain, too. So, beat our D, made a nice shot. It was a nice save by Frommer and put the rebound into the corner.
Yeah, you can see why. Here's the other part of that ninth grade crew, Landon Lushenko, number 29 in the corner, over to Lazzotti. Lazzotti looking for Trevor Lushenko. Nice step up by Frank Jermusic, and a nice twisted wrister finds the glove of Mr. Thompson in net.
Go ahead, Bissy.
They have in Park. I'd like to see a little more some shots from out top the circles. Feel like they're gaining the zone, trying to be too fancy. Move in, move out. If you got a screen, I say if they got the screen from the defenseman, take the shot through them. And I think they need more shots on net. I think that's probably their best scoring opportunity this whole game right now. But it's came from outside the circle. So.
Take your opportunities when they're there. No shot's a bad shot. There's been some strange goals over the years that have won some big games.
And here's TJ Hoffman with a momentary break as he had Daniel Sargent lining him up for a hip check, and a little difference in size there between TJ and number 24 Daniel Sargent. But TJ able to corral that and put it on net, and Thompson holds. We should mention Danny's one of the assistant coaches for the Pee Wee 8 team, and John, your son Willie, plays on that team too. We get a chance, we'll talk a little bit about your tournament this weekend and that program. Here's number 9, Nicky Owens for the Orioles out there with Hames and Greenbush. Greeny with a cross-angle shot, just goes onto the net, but pushed wide. And Jermusic able to, nice job stepping up and backhanding that in for the hold for the Orioles. 5:49 remaining in period 1 as Hames and Greenbush will battle on that near wall, and Jacob spiked. Able to corral that puck and start a break. spiked over to Thompson. This is the leading scorer for them with 17 goals and 7 assists. Nice push and almost an opportunity for Nicky Hames there. Greenbush able to get on side here. Kurt Greenbush. Nice job on the pinch up and the hold that time by Bloom from his defense post. Here's spiked again. He's got Thompson on the weak side. Possible 3-on-2. Spike going to the middle. Number 8. Oh, wristed. Fromm able to get a part of the blocker on that. And here's spiked again down low. Nice job keeping that stick on the ice by Charlie Hills as he momentarily relieves pressure, but unable to clear the zone as the Wildcats are able to change their defensive unit. Back to the point. Ooh, and on a redirect, I think, by Thompson on the tip there.
he got a stick up
Did
high.
I don't know if he got
did.
a piece of it, but
Yeah.
wow.
It was going right into Frommer's glove, and he was able to get his stick. And luckily, I bet you it hit his stick and then Frommer's glove and then went over just because the positioning of all three, the puck, the stick, and the glove.
Yeah, that was. We had a great angle to see the shot, and then he really did it. You can see why Thompson has 17 goals and Spiked has 24 points for the Wildcats. They're an all-senior line, that unit for them. So Kramer, number 20 for the Orioles, able to shoot it in. We should mention Joey Kramer, all the way through up, guys, in youth hockey was a forward, and then the last year and a half he'd been playing D for the Orioles. Why don't you talk a little bit about the thought process, John, and about moving him back to right wing?
Yeah, Joey's a big, strong, physical player. And the thought of moving Joey up is that as we enter the offensive zone and we need a forecheck, you can get an aggressive forecheck with Joey. You can pop that puck loose. Second forward coming hard can pick up the puck and hit the third forward coming in high.
Okay, and we should mention, too, that Joey and Frank Jermusik, we must be one of the only teams in the state for hockey that has 2 of their starting offensive linemen in football playing on the hockey team in Jermusik and Joey Kramer. Right. So
I don't know. Look at a few of these guys out here in Chisago. Yeah. They might have a few linemen out at defense too.
Good call, Danny. You're right. Especially that Sargent and number 3 Reynolds out there.
There's Joey Kramer winning a battle, coming around the stuff.
Joey pushes it out front as he did have a momentary break there. Puck is going to be shot down, but not far enough for icing, I believe. Or no, it is far enough. It's
going to be icing. Yeah, that was that line after they broke it out. It was Jesper, it was Jake Bear, and Joey Kramer had a nice rush up front. They won some battles in the corner and put it in front of the net. Couldn't get a real good shot.
Yeah, Thompson really threw that stick out because he didn't want to deal with that that wraparound, and he didn't have to face up to it. Yeah. Here's Lucas Savage. Ooh, a quick wrister. Holfen trying to find some garbage down low. Not able to be the garbage man there, but good work. As Lucas Savage and Holfen will try to battle off against Lushenko and Luzati. Here's Trevor Lushenko for the Wildcats. Trying to break it up mid-ice as he almost walked into a nice check and a nice tic-tac-toe play here. And here's Trevor Lushenko on the weak side. Passes it out front. Held in momentarily by Bloom. Bloom into the corner, getting some cycle help by Lushenko. Lushenko over to his brother Landon. Here's Landon back behind the net. And Rempfer able to take it away. You can imagine that unit has a lot of chemistry, even though Trevor Lushenko is only a junior and Landon's only a 9th grader. Especially with their brother Corey being such a big Reminder to stay with us at the end of the first period as Danny Bissonette has a special guest and wants to conduct an interview, so stick with us at the end of the first period for a special guest here. Just 2:40 remaining in period 1.
Smart freeze, stop and play by Frommer. Had someone coming in heavy on Jermusek. Gives an opportunity to get a change in D, get a line change, and not put any pressure on us.
Well, and I noticed that they're spotting their 4th unit a little bit too here, where the Orioles are still rolling their 2 main ones, and then we're kind of spotting our 3rd unit, the Knutson line out there. The Sargent's attempt goes a little wide, and a nice job just be able to kick it on out by Nicky Owens. But for the Wildcats, Brayfogle getting some support offensively that time by Knack and Lambrecht, and they're able to get it down low for the Wildcats. Puck is battled at its center ice and stolen away momentarily. Here's Sargent with a one-time slapper. He really wound up. The only thing that was received any of that was Casey Plender's ankle, though.
Yeah, they got to get it out here. They're getting a little pressure on us right now. We've had a couple opportunities to get it outside the blue, and we're just not winning those battles.
And they'll see if Charlie Hills can change direction here, and they work the far wall there. But that time, Curtis broke early, and unfortunately, the puck didn't ever receive him. And here's Specht as he's got some help, fires it on net, and a nice job that time by Thompson rushing the net, trying to get that rebound effort. And here's Curtis with some speed up the far wall, just pushes it out front. Oh, and Sargent lost handle of the puck momentarily, and it looked like Casey Plender almost put that one home. As you see Malarkey out there working with Halfin. And here's a break for the Wildcats as Justin By with speed. Backdoor play, and unfortunately too far for Spikes on that one for the Wildcats. But they're going to hold possession again, and that puck is shot high. And Fromm able to go high with the blocker and knock that out of play with 1:15 remaining in the first period.
And both teams on that last shift took a couple chances. Curdy early on, broke, and
when he broke early, and
he was hoping that the D would read that, put it high off the glass, and he would be gone on a wing fly.
Right.
On the flip side, we were down in the zone with some pressure. Number 11 snuck behind our defense out to center ice, and they tried to make it to him, but Casey Plender did a nice job of picking off the pass.
Yeah.
So both teams getting a little aggressive to try to create a little odd man rush or breakaway situation.
1 minute remaining in the first period here. 1 minute remaining as Jermusik gains the blue line, is able to find Jake Lukasavich, who's momentarily erased by Reynolds on a big check by the blue liner. That's Colton Reynolds behind his own net for the Wildcats. Has the puck stolen away, but unfortunately Halfin can't maintain possession. But Frankie Jermusik able to get it to Malarkey on a backhand. Oh, nice job on a give and go, as he had TJ Halfin momentarily, but Miles couldn't put enough on that pass. Nice to see the teamwork in the give and go plays and using the blue liners and shuffling it back.
Yeah, it's been nice to see them know where their teammates are and try to move the puck to them. The reads, we're looking good as far as catching those reads. We need them a hair quicker.
Yeah.
Two or three times Chisago's been able to just catch us at the last moment, and we just need to instinctively move that puck a little quicker.
Right. Here's Greenbush again out there with Hames. Kurt lines up the slapper. Hart hits it hard off Trevor Bloom's left shin pad, as Hames and Greenbush are down in the corner there, and they'll try to corral that puck. Just 10 seconds remaining in the first period as we have a whistle. Remind us at the end of the period here, Paul and Misty are going to zoom in on Danny Bissonette, who's going to have an interview with Steve Rosine, the president of the St. Louis Park Hockey Association and also assistant coach of the team. So stick with us. Off the faceoff, quick wrister momentarily stopped that time, and the puck is going to be batted out. Possible 2-on-1 here, but will they have enough time on the break? Oh, they do not, as Brayfugel attempts to find the back of the iron, but one period complete here at the rec center, and we are scoreless.
Yep. Well, that was an interesting first period, no doubt about it. There was a lot of action from both teams, especially in the neutral zone. There were some neutral zone turnovers from her. But neither team really had that many scoring opportunities. And I think what we'll find is as teams get into a period, have an opportunity to take a look, check out a little bit of their breakouts. I think the center breakout's a good option, the way Chisago's coming hard on both sides of the net. And then, of course, when we get our opportunities with guys flying, we'll try to hit them at center ice and see if we can create some rushes.
We're going to join Danny Bissonette, who is with Steve Rosine, the president of St. Louis Park Hockey. Go ahead, Danny, take it away.
Hey, John, thanks. I'm joined right now by Steve Rosine, one of the assistant coaches on the varsity team, and also, more importantly, the president of the St. Louis Park Hockey Association. First of all, scoreless first period. There weren't a whole lot of shots by Park early on. They started getting some scoring chances at the end of the first. What changed? Anything change on the bench? Anything change or just working harder?
Well, I think we kind of started out a little slow, but the energy level picked up and that helped us. And then we started getting shots on. But I think what we have to do is do the little things a little better. We're kind of losing the puck at the blue lines. Get the puck in, and then we got to outwork them. That's what we got to do. But I was happy with the period.
Is there anything, obviously a larger guys on the blue line for Chisago, is there anything you tell your forwards, beat them wide, use your speed, make them get penalties?
Well, that's what we've been telling our speed guys all year is take the puck wide, especially with a bigger, slower defensive, core like Chisago Lake. Take it wide, get it in the zone, create some opportunities, and they're starting to do that a little better.
To change gears a little bit, as the president of the association, can you talk about numbers in our association right now and what the state of St. Louis Park Hockey Association is looking like right now?
Well, the numbers have been fairly steady compared to last year. They've been growing a little bit. We're kind of in the middle of what I call a 5-year plan, and we've made some philosophical changes and tried to implement some new ideas into the association that are starting to pay off. We've gone to smaller teams this year, and I think the majority of our teams are having successful years, and that it bodes well. And we've got some good coaches from the high school, assistant coaches coming down, helping us in the development part. So I'm pleased with the direction we're going. We're still not there. We got to build on it, and but I'm confident within the next few years, we should be strong and set for the future.
And how would you say you market St. Louis Park hockey to families? How do you get kids out at an early age to play, get them interested at the age of 5, 6 years old?
Well, that's a hard thing to do because, hockey, as you know, Danny, playing hockey is kind of a different sport where it's hard to be successful right away. So you got to learn how to skate and then learn how to stick handle, and it's not easy. And there's a lot of failure or lack of achievement right away. So we try to make it very reasonably priced, good hours, a good atmosphere, fun. So we try to sell the assets of inexpensive, get your kids working, athletic, have some sense of accomplishment.
So as new families come into the program and start out in their first years, what can the families expect? What can the kids expect in their first few years?
Well, first few years, they're going to have fun. We're going to make it fun for them. They're going to learn something. They are going to get fat or get better quickly. And families that aren't familiar with hockey are amazed at how quick they advance. From the first times out here, falling down, not being able to stand up. Within a few weeks, they're buzzing around. End of the year, they're flying all over. And that gets the bug in them, and then hopefully they come back.
Well, I would say the rec center of this building is a pretty good marketing tool. I mean, you have kids coming through here every day for the water park. It's probably one of the best buildings, I would say, in the metro area. How would you say the rec center plays a big part in getting kids out here?
Well, I agree with you, Danny. We got a great facility here. It's almost a two-edged sword because it's a great facility. All of our practices are here or in St. Louis Park, but they don't realize that we have it pretty good here. And as our numbers grow, the lack of ice here, because we have Benilde and St. Louis Park high schools, we have to go elsewhere to find ice. So they get accustomed to this nice, beautiful facility, but then it changes a little bit as we get older and as we become a better and bigger association. So hopefully that's the things we need to iron out and work out.
Sounds good. I'll let you get back into the locker room, but thanks, Steve. Hey, back up to you, John.
Thank you so much, Danny and Misty and Paul. Thank you for your work. Paul, make sure you give a shout out to Misty. We're going to step away for about a minute here, but a reminder that if you do want to find out about attempting to start off playing hockey, or you were playing hockey for a while, but you wanted to come back to it, the website for Park Hockey is SLPHA. That's SLPHA.org. Now, there's going to be all kinds of information on the Sean Podine camps that are run this summer. There's a lot of inexpensive options for just trying out hockey. And there's a lot of just, John, open skating times. If you want to come on Friday nights or what is it, Friday night, 6:30 to 8?
Sunday
Sunday
afternoons.
afternoon, weekdays. So
And I have to add in, Farmer, I tell you, it's a great winter sport. It keeps
warming houses
warming houses are open outside. You got open skating here, and I'll just say that it's a great sport for kids to play, and it is a lot of fun. Seeing the mites out here, once you get used to coming to this beautiful rec center, just like you do to the pool in the summer, you come in the winter, it's got a concession stand, a warm area.
Right.
The kids have fun. They meet great friends. I can tell you, my kids all going through the program here, and I've had 3 of them. They just have lifelong friends, and they play not only the winter sports, hockey, but they play the summer sports, whether it's baseball or football or basketball, as well. And so lacrosse. I mean, they just gel, and it's a great activity. It keeps them in shape, and to be honest, it makes these Minnesota winters go really fast. So I encourage everybody to check out the hockey website, and there's beginners, and it's not. I think there's a big misperception out there that it's exceedingly a time commitment. It isn't at the younger levels, at the mite levels. You can do it as a recreational sport, and it's very inexpensive in St. Louis Park. We're one of the cheapest. We do a lot of. We're very fortunate with some of our fundraising activity. We're very fortunate with this rec center and what the city does for us, that this sport here in St. Louis Park is very reasonably priced. As a matter of fact, people that come from other communities say, I can't believe how inexpensive it is to play hockey in St. Louis Park.
Well, on that front, we should really mention that this is city-sponsored cable, but Bunny's is the pull tab location for St. Louis Park. So if you're ever up there to eat or drink, or you're ever looking for a spot for a nice libation on Excelsior Boulevard, the pull tab site up there supports St. Louis Park hockey. All the proceeds go. And one of the things they're supporting, which we should probably touch on because we just had Rosie on, is Sean is going to be one of the new parts of the youth program. Is Sean is now in charge of all the youth hockey training. As part of that, which means he's going to be running the summer camps, and there's going to be more spring and fall activities. So you're going to see Sean a lot more even on the ice than you were in previous years, and that should really be and hopefully he can incorporate some of his other high school staff into that, and yourself as well too.
And he does, and I think what that does is it brings some really quality coaching. And for those that aren't familiar, Sean obviously had a very historic and storied career, growing up in Rochester and playing for Rochester and playing up at the University of Minnesota Duluth for the Bulldogs, and then playing in the NHL and winning the Stanley Cup with Colorado. And you get that kind of person with the type of coaching that he's able to bring in from within and with outside of the community to work with our youth. A lot of people say, geez, I like sports where I have really knowledgeable coaches. And you look at all that, and I've been on the ice with them, and I see their demeanor and how everybody walks off that ice just having a fun time. And people play a game, no matter what game it is, to have fun. And this game of hockey, with the coaching staff they're having a great time. And so it's and you're right about the support we get from the pull tabs at Bunny's. That helps keep all the fees low, helps keep equipment available for mites at a very inexpensive cost. So it just makes it a very affordable, fun activity.
Well, and I think one thing that's hard for people, like I have a lot of friends that their kids maybe are in youth basketball or even in youth wrestling in the winter. The one thing that's really different with youth hockey is you do usually, if you're playing on like an A or a B team or even some of the B2s or Cs, usually you'll at least get a couple out-of-town tournaments a year or two where, not that it's going to be in a very expensive hotel room, but because the kids get to spend so much more time away from the rink with their friends on their team than in some other sports, there's a lot more long-term friendships. I know my son still has so many friends from his Cooper youth hockey days before that was dissolved.
Right.
And I know they'll always be friends because there's, they have so many special bonds from those times. That's one of the great things about sports in general for kids is, I think what people forget is my son's going to be, out of high school he's going to be done with his high school hockey career in a few weeks. But I've already had numerous talks with them about, okay, well, there's all these men's league options. They've got traveling men's leagues and all. If you want to keep playing, you can be playing like Rosie is still playing in his 50s. And, it can be a lifelong sport, too, where sometimes people forget that, that part of it too. So
Yeah, and you know, you talk about the tournaments and the lifelong friends. We were just up in the Pee Wee 8 team was just up, and that was Mr. Greenbush stopping by the booth saying hello, Curtis's dad, and I see Steve Malarkey, Miles' dad, popping in as well. But I'll tell you, Frommer, we were up in the Hockey Hall of Fame.
We might grab a headset, Mark.
And we're gonna throw Miles' dad on the air here.
We were just talking about. What, you finish your point first. And
yeah,
then
the tournament up in Eveleth. What a great town to go to, a Hockey Hall of Fame. Bunch of young boys, young men from St. Louis Park up there representing our community, playing in a Pee Wee 8 tournament. They were very fortunate. They beat a AA team, Hibbing, in game 1. They came back and beat Duluth Denfield. They lost in the championship game to take second place in that tournament. But the point that you were making, I watched the boys be together, and I watched them bond in a town like Eveleth, Minnesota, which is deep in tradition, not only Minnesota mining, but Minnesota hockey.
Yeah.
And what an experience for the boys. The boys got to go to the Hockey Hall of Fame, watch a documentary about the 1980 Olympic team. They got to spend time in the hotel and in the pool, and that's what it's about. It's about hockey. It's about the community. It's about the camaraderie and lifelong friends.
Oh yeah. And Steve, the reason I wanted you to sit here, Steve's son Miles is a junior and one of the leading scorers on the team. But Steve's really involved with First Athlete and also is a co-owner of Minnesota Made Training Facility in Edina, where
Minnesota Made Hockey as well.
Yeah, Minnesota Made Hockey, and that's another option too. And I wanted to bring you out because just a few weeks ago, Steve was nice enough to let, on a one-shot deal, our varsity had a practice at your new outdoor rink out there. And
a lot of fun,
and you've got a lot of other training options available too for kids.
Yeah, that's correct.
We were talking to Rosie as the interview about different training options and summer programs, and
you can sign up for monthlies that are $69 a month.
Right?
How can you beat that?
Exactly. Exactly. And so if you see Steve, he'll be back next year at the rink here, and he'll be around a lot this summer, and his son Miles. So we're talking about Sean's commitment to running the summer training and being on the ice and
love
more
to
of
have
that.
Him. Love to have him. Yeah. That's awesome.
And I got to mention your outdoor rink is something that for kids today, Coon Rapids built one up at their facility. You now have one outside.
Same area.
And same. And you know what? It's a beautiful, basically indoor rink, but outside. And you see more and more communities doing it, and it's such a special treat for the kids to play.
It is.
Because they're on indoor ice, but they're outside. They're playing in the open air. They're playing, kind of old-time hockey.
And days gone by.
Days gone by, and I can tell you that as the St. Louis Park kids were on your rink outdoor just down to the south. It's too bad it's located in Edina and not St. Louis Park, Malark. But even that being said,
but he'll change
that. The weather up here isn't as cold as it is in Edina. That's how he can get away with it. I said that to Bloomington for years. It's much colder in Edina than it is in.
But we could not get the boys off that ice.
No, exactly. Well, I just wanted to. That kind of tied in a lot, Steve, what we were talking about with Rosie, and a quick early break this time for the Wildcats as we start the second period here, and that Lushenko-Lazati line out there for Chisago. Trevor Lushenko tries to corral that one-time backhand pass, but unable to do so. And this is Bloom who regroups in the old Wildcat zone. You got the Malarkey line out there along with Jake Lukasavage and TJ Halfin.
No, Halfin's not. It's Carlos.
No, Carlos is not.
Carlos is out there with him today. Yep.
And I'll tell you one change Chisago has made during the first break. On their first breakout out of their own zone, both wings flew. So we'll see if that's just the first line that tried that, or if they're going to do that on their every breakout. We'll keep an eye on that. Our defense will have to recognize that fairly quickly.
Sargent able to pinch it and momentarily hold that as the Gillespie shoots it around boards this time for Chisago Lakes. Lucas Savage, the junior, who had a few chances early on in the first period, attempting to win a battle on the far wall, but unable to do so. Puck is played behind the Oriole net as Charlie Hills tries to muscle up on one of the Wildcat players. Momentarily, Park's able to regain possession. This is Reynolds at the point. Pushes it down low, this time to Ritter. Ritter on a nice cycle play, gets it back to Lambrecht. Lambrecht behind the net again. Nice cycle and a nice aggressive forecheck by the Wildcats. Put on net to Fromm, and you've got, I believe that's Knack trying to get the Knack and knock that thing home there.
Yeah, Frommer did a nice job of covering up. Actually, I thought the whistle was a little slow on that. He had it, but he had it right underneath. You know, sometimes you can even let your stick go and grab it, and that's what he kind of did to make sure that that puck wasn't going to come loose.
We should mention, we didn't talk about this earlier, but Chisago comes into the game with a 12-7-1 record. They did lose their last game to St. Francis 6-1, but only lost 5-4 the game before that to Totino. In a game they were outshot quite a bit, and you can see they've got quite a jump in their step to start the second period. Here's Thompson again. He's got Spike and Brayfugel down low, and we're going to have a momentary whistle on the play, as I'm not sure if somebody was checked into the net. Came off its moorings there.
Just off good eyes by the referee there. I didn't see that come off the far side.
Backside.
Ryan's got to work on that skill more, getting that thing knocked off, especially on 2-on-1s. I tell him.
Well, I tell you, I used to teach that move, Frommer, but as I've got older, I be a little more ethical, and I don't teach it as much.
Right, exactly. Here's Bloom, who holds it in down low on the quick pitch. Nice backdoor play, and a goal that time scored by Thompson off a 1-2 punch. Is Thompson able to corral that thing and get the goal at the 14:49 mark? So you go to the replay, there was 3 quick passes in a row. There's a nice job by Bloom, able to hold it in, and then 2 nice passes, bam, bam, and the result of that is Brayfugel passed it over to Thompson. So Thompson gets the goal from Brayfugel and spiked at the 14:49 mark. Really made by Bloom's pinch-in down here, able to hold possession on that. So,
and there was just
dial it up a little bit here.
Now a 2-on-1 possibly. Oh, and he wasn't able to get rid of the puck fast enough. But Spike right out front again with Brayfugel. They've really got quite a hop in their step to start this second. Back to the point. Here's Sargent. He pushes it down low. Spike unable to get a stick on it, but he holds possession in the corner. Spike to Sargent. Nice catch momentarily with the skate. Lucas Savage far off the near wall and Halfin on a 1-on-1. TJ, a beautiful hip check laid on by Trevor Bloom. He erases TJ Halfin from the play. Thompson swinging far, trying to get a momentary break for the Wildcats. And here's Thompson on a 1-on-1 with Hills.
Spring a guy.
Yep, they're trying to spring him. He goes left, right, back door. Ooh!
Oh, that's it.
Oh, and I don't know if we're going to get Charlie. Not happy with that. Is Charlie
contact.
Goalie contact going to be called, and Charlie Hills defending Fromm after Fromm was taken out hard on that sequence. And nice to see Charlie step up for his goaltender there. As you watch this play here, now he's doing nothing wrong, Thompson, but he goes hard to the net, and then, man, I'm not quite sure. Well,
he didn't. He had control of himself. He was not checked into the goalie. The goalie was contacted by him without contact to him.
Yeah, right. He's got to make an effort to miss the goaltending even on a drive to the net, and he didn't.
And they did give Hills one for retaliation, I think.
Well, Ryan threw his stick out there to poke check to stop as he was trying to go left, right, and then back door, and he erased the scoring chance, but we're going to have Charlie also get a 2-minute minor.
5-on-5.
Yep, and they're going to give them both coincidentals now, and they'll be, like Malark said, 5-on-5 here.
So 1-0 early in the second period here as the Hames-Greenbush line out there. And here is Kurt Greenbush on a 1-on-1. Attempts the wrist shot and unfortunately not able to get it through as Colton Reynolds gets a stick on that. And here's Hames trying to win a battle down low with Greenbush in the corner. Nicky Owens out there as well. It's 3 Oriole forwards battling for it down low, and Greenbush able to get that. Jermusik with a nice hold in on the corner to Greenbush. Greenbush on a quick cycle, goes left, right, front. Not able to hold, but he's able to corral the puck again. Quick wrister that time by Jermusik, unable to be held in, and Renfro will have to regroup at center ice. Wildcats are able to change as well as they bring out their third unit here, the By O'Connor Chambers unit. And here is O'Connor, tries to get it to By down low. Stolen away momentarily by the Orioles as they attempt to regroup and break it out of their own zone. Just under 13 minutes remaining in the second period here, as we're going to have an icing whistle. Boy, Chisago Lakes really has come out with a lot of fire.
Ready to jump back in here?
And
it's all yours, buddy.
Malark, thank you very much for stopping by the booth.
Appreciate it. I'll come back again.
We did some shameless self-promotion.
Yes,
that's what we're all about here on Public Access.
Thank you, Malark.
We're going to be joined again by Danny Bissonette. And then at the end of the second period, Mr. Nunn is going to join us, Jim Nunn. the new baseball coach at St. Louis Park, is going to join us. We're going to have an interview with Jim at the end of the second period. So 12:40 remaining in period 2 here is the Bear unit out there for St. Louis Park with Kramer. And it's momentarily stolen away. Good speed as your music trying to munch down on Landon Lushenko. A little difference in size there between Lushenko and Frank Jermusic. Landon could probably fit in his back pocket that time, but that's kind of fun, that little 9-9-11 line with the 2 Lushenkos and then Blake Lizotti. Really like seeing that unit out there, Danny. Danny, great job on the interview. I was going to say you asked a lot of pointed questions about how kids could get involved and prices and, you know, what you could do. We talked as a follow-up to what you said too about just other ways people can get involved and how, you know, if you go out to Bunny's and buy some libations or food, buy some pull tabs, and that supports the program.
Yeah, I know. A lot of my friends probably have put kids through hockey playing pull tabs. So.
Well, tell them to keep playing.
Well, Danny, those are just the kind of friends we need on Excelsior Boulevard, right? Here's Lucas Savage, possible break as he and Halfin get it down low that time. Just 11:50 remaining in period 2 here. Wildcats with an early goal on a tic-tac-toe passing play here. And here's Lushenko. Trevor Lushenko with 8 goals and 17 assists on the season for the Wildcats, number 7. And here's Lizotti. That youngster's, that little guy's got 5 goals and 16 assists as a 9th grader for them. That's pretty impressive, you know.
Yeah.
Shot in and held by, or stopped by Fromm behind the net. We'll see if Jermusic can break it out. Nobody home on that pass, stolen away by the Wildcats. Oh, beautiful attempt at a shot, and Brayfogle couldn't get a stick on it as him and Gillespie are out there on a partial change. The third unit, they're really mixing that third line well. That puck shot on net, and I'll tell you what, wow. There is Benjamin Knack really hammered, really just chopped the wood down on.
And they should get one. We should come out of here with a power play. I'd be surprised if we don't. There wasn't much of a retaliation, just kind of standing up and getting someone
Casey
out.
Plender just trying to, I tell you what though, Knack just trying to assume position. Casey makes an offensive check on him, but I'll tell you, Knack says not so fast, and he just lays the lumber on him. That's got to be 2 minutes for roughing, I would assume.
Yeah, 2 minutes for roughing, and I think that, you know, we've been struggling on our power play, and it's really, you know, when we get these opportunities, we really need to move the puck and try to bury the puck, so we'll see what happens. What do we got? We got
14% on the year for the Orioles on the power play. Penalty kill's not too bad for Park. They're at 78%, but hopefully 1 out of 7, especially when you're having trouble scoring goals on regular strength too. As the referees are talking it over with Kurt Greenbush and the captains for, and we're going to get a 5 minutes for roughing, or? Wow.
He did go down there with an extra little jab at the end there when he was on the ice.
Well, one thing I'm glad at as a goalie parent too is that
they called him head contact.
Oh, well, so boy, you talk about an opportunity with 11:02 remaining in the second period.
Now, I think that, you know, if you look at the rule, that is a call you can make. In most cases, you would say that they call a 2-minute rough, but it certainly was head contact.
Yeah,
it
was that initial hit, I think. Right?
Oh, wow, a laser from TJ Rempfer from the point. So this is just hopefully what the doctor ordered to spend some time. 5-on-4 kill this time. Spiked and Thompson out there for the Wildcats, and a nice job by Bryce Thompson able to hold that on. They're also out there as they're going to change their unit. The Orioles have Hills and Rempfer at the blue line, and then 5-7-11 in Lucas Savage, Hames, and Kurt Greenbush out there for the Orioles.
Johnny, the 2 guys that key on right now are Lucas Savage and Greenbush. I think they got to get them the puck with open looks, and if they have open look, that with their shots that they have, they got to take them, and a lot of pucks to the net.
We'll see here as the Wildcats have Trevor Lushenko out there on the kill this time, and he's out there with Brayfogle. Lucas Savage gains the zone, back to the point to Hills. Hills and Lucas Savage playing catch. Lucas Savage tries to put it on net, it sweeps wide, but Rempfer able to hold it in. And Hills with speed over to corral it on the far wall. Hames, Hills. Hills working it down low, trying to get it to Hames. Back to the corner for Lucas Savage. Looking cross ice, able to find Charlie Hills, whose wrist shot falls on net. No rebound, and we're going to have a penalty, I believe, whistled on the Orioles on a check here once we have a stoppage. So the power play will be neutralized. at the 9:55 mark, as I believe, is that Nick Hames who's going to get the gate? Or the hand went up right away, and I believe that's Curtis Greenbush. Unfortunately for Oriole fans, he's going to get a penalty for checking from behind or interference at the 9:55 mark.
Yeah, I would hope it's interference in front of the net, kind of an offensive penalty. It looks like the two were just battling. He was battling for the puck, but I didn't quite get a good look at it. But
so Spiked and Thompson up front for the Wildcats, as they've got Reynolds and Sargent out there, Reynolds and Haskins out there. 4-on-4 for 2 minutes here. A lot of open spaces, and we'll see if anything can materialize for either team. Hoffman with a takeaway at center ice. Nicely chopped off the puck that time by Thompson. Thompson and Spike don't have numbers, but a nice job with Casey Plender. 3-on-2 possible for the Orioles. Plender, cross ice, nobody home there as he tried to find Miles Malarkey. Malarkey able to steal it away. And now we're going to have Spiked again with a momentary break, but a nice sweep check again by Plender. We'd like to see Casey bring that all the way in and trying to sweep pass it to Miles on that last sequence.
Yeah, it was a nice try.
Yeah. So 1:15 remaining in the 4-on-4, and then the Orioles will have roughly 2 minutes of power play again remaining, as that puck was well wide of the net, but nicely grubbed down by Thompson. Just a reminder, at the end of the second period, we're going to talk Danny. Danny and I, are mostly Danny, probably going to conduct an interview with Jim Nunn, the new baseball coach at St. Louis Park, who's got a 7th grade son who plays hockey at Edina and baseball as well. So Charlie Hill's on net. Nice to see those. We got to just get some low pucks to the net, hopefully get some sticks and some rebounds, Danny.
Yeah, no, I mean, the key here, bigger team, hard to drive to the net on. Get pucks to the net and get guys in front in the right position for rebounds. I know Hames skated over a rebound there on the power play, so.
Nice play by Gillespie, getting some help down low, and Fromm able to hold it. Oh no, holds the left pad, and then was the puck, did we shoot the puck out?
Yeah, we shot the puck out. It was, Frommer had it, made a nice stop, and it was right in front of him, and he just wasn't quite sure if Frommer knew where it was, so he thought, well, I'll throw it out there. Unfortunately, it was behind the back and went right to one of the Chisago players, and they just rifled it home.
Yeah, because Lambrecht was stopped momentarily, and then unfortunately for the Orioles, number 9, Nick Owens, put it right on the stick of Lambrecht. So he gets the unassisted goal at 8:44 here. And that'll make it 2-0. That's really just, again, some really bad luck.
Yeah, you know, you're trying to react quickly, and, you know, there's oftentimes you say it's laying in front of the goalie. Get it out of the slot, whack it out.
Right.
And sometimes it's nice to chat with the goalie.
Right.
Say it's there,
well,
freeze it.
And the problem there was it was passed more in front a little bit more as opposed to jumped into the corner. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So only 20 seconds remaining in the penalty to Kurt Greenbush, and then the Orioles will be on a small break as we're going to have a momentary whistle. Paul, if you get a chance, let's go back to that replay if you have that whole sequence. It was a nice little 2-on-1 break that Lambrecht had as he went to the backhand.
We just picked up a penalty too, Frommer.
Oh, we did. Okay, here's a little 2-on-1. Nice job that time. And you can just see the puck is Frommer. It's right in front of him, and then he's not quite sure if he knows it. And then instead of
to the corner.
Yeah. And he really off-shelved it there. So Frank Jermusik, that'll negate the rest of the possible power play for the Orioles, as Frank Jermusik gets a penalty at the 8:15 mark. I didn't see what that whistle was. Was it interference?
It was interference. You know, it was one of those questionable calls where basically Frank had stood someone up, put it deep, and then the person came back out, and they kind of went into each other.
Wow, we had an Oriole player, TJ Remfer, up and Sargent. We're going to have a penalty on TJ Remfer. So we're going to have a momentary break here. No doubt about that as a penalty. And Sargent yelling at Fromm about something down low there. I don't know what that is, but Sargent was, Ryan kind of checking him from behind there, giving him, he got double teamed Sargent, and then TJ whacked him down. But that smartest Sargent, you know, he's got to be 220. They just park him in front of the net there. And so we're going to have a 4-on-3 power play here now for about 1:40. Favorite power play you always have. For the Wildcats, you're going to have Reynolds and Thompson at the points here. And you're going to have Spiked along with Big Sargent, number 24, out front. Hill's trying to push Sargent out of the way there. One-time shot, and that's another goal here. Not sure if that might have hit off Sargent as he was standing right in front of Fromm and couldn't see him. So that's
the advantage right there, having the big boy in front screening and tipping.
You know, they just set him down there, and Charlie's trying to mess with him. Yeah. But nice job off the one-time, beautiful one-time shot. I'm not even sure what that hit, if it hit his stick or it looked like it deflected off something, but
looked like it might have deflected off a body from him.
Yeah. I think it went off at 24, and Coach Bodine is calling a timeout. You know, one of the things that I think that the referee's got to be very careful. Watch 24 after he scores.
Right,
and
he's kind of taunting, right?
Yeah, there's a little bit of taunting going on after, and you know that's where unfortunately.
Yeah, he's taunting the goalie.
Yeah, he's taunting the goalie, and I think what happens there, if you don't get a hold of that and you don't call that, you get things that escalate very quickly.
Well, we should mention, relating to the second goal there too, one of the things that I find hardest of being a goalie, and maybe you comment on this, is when you get a big kid, 6'3" like that, with that big weight, and he's backing down into that blue area, and a lot of times they got both skates, as you know, Danny, you putting those skates right in there. The goalie's got to try to push him out of there, John, and you sometimes got to use that stick, but it's really, how do you determine when is the right time as a goalie to use it, and when is, you know, how do you balance that?
Yeah, I think one of the things is you certainly if they're in their crease, you have to be able to stand your ground and get out to the top of that crease so you can cut down the angle. If they're in your crease and pushing you back, a shot's going to beat you because you have to be out challenging, taking away that net. So you have to use that stick if they're encroaching to get them out without losing focus on that puck. So you're at the top of that paint.
Right. Exactly. Well, and you can really see why they love to park Sargent down there as a senior too, and even like Cooper last Thursday we had them when they put Norca down there with his size too. Although he didn't work as in the front of the net as much as he did on the sides, but. So if there's any 220-pound really fast athletes out there that are playing basketball right now, but you're a good skater, maybe make a transition over to hockey, and we've got a spot for you in front of the net.
Yeah, that's right.
So 3-0 with 7:44 remaining after the Oriole timeout, and both teams will still be 4-on-4 here after the power play goal by Sargent.
I mean, what a difference, though, that a couple minutes makes here. You had a
3.5 minutes.
You had a 5-minute penalty for Park, and then we take 2.
We take 2, and you know it was only
took 3.
Yeah, and here's Brave.
Momentum swings the other way.
And we're gonna have another one here as Plender gets, and that was just bad luck as he got his stick caught between his skates there. So at the 7:15 mark, Casey Plender gonna get a tripping penalty. Sadly, his stick just got caught in between his feet there. Kind of threw his stick out at him though.
Yeah, that's the deal. I mean, we talk to our peewees all the time about that. If you're flailing your stick out far from your body like that, then your chances of getting the penalty call and you're greater. If you get up in their feet, if you get your feet up in their feet and you poke check, less chances of getting a tripping call.
So Sargent right in front of the net again, and Fromm can't see any of that, and there it is again as number 3 Reynolds with a nice slap shot and another power play goal at the 7:10 mark. That's 4 goals in 4 minutes, 2 power plays, and that is really going to make a tall order for the Orioles here. Nice, another one-time shot. And you know, maybe Ryan saw part of it. I don't know. He just
no, it's tough. They got a couple guys in front screen, and you know what? I mean, you can't give these guys advantage. They got a couple guys that can shoot the puck hard from up top.
And good one-time shots. We should mention by the blue line too. Reynolds got that goal, and he also got the assist on the last one. So. Still a 4-on-4 sequence as the power plays over there, but both teams are still 1 man down. So a 4-goal outburst in 4 minutes here in the second period. And Sargent able to put that on net, and Kurt Greenbush will stop and go away this time. Greenbush and Lucas Savage on a 2-on-2. Greenbush with a wrister. Nice glove save by Thompson. Nice piece of work there by Thompson at the 6:41 mark. Yeah, that's got to be the biggest sequence of goals the Orioles have given up this year in any, you know, I think, you know, we mentioned they had only given up 66 goals on the season going in the game, like 3.4 a game. And
yeah, that was a fast flurry. Now we had the 5-minute initial power play, then we got into penalty trouble.
Yeah.
And then back came Chisago with a flurry. They parked number 24 in front. And, I think the only, it's a smart power play. A couple things, though, that I'm unhappy to see is the taunting after the goal.
Right.
And of course, from a defensive standpoint, we don't care how big he is. We got to clear him out.
Right. As Sargent just attempted a laser shot there that went off a couple of sticks. Orioles a little bit reeling here as Nicky Hames behind his own net. Passes it up and another takedown as Jesper goes down towards center ice, and this is Gillespie. Gillespie getting some help there. And a nice shot that time by 32 Kastenbauer. I don't think we've seen him yet in this game, and he gets one on net here. Jermusic just nicely able to relieve some pressure, and Hames will redirect as the Orioles can complete a change here at the 5:30 mark. Nice step up that time by Jermusic. Back door, front door, follows his shot. Nice to see that as a defenseman that he followed his shot there even after the pinch in. He had an opportunity to put one in and he took advantage of it. Here's Thompson and spiked again. Stopped it momentarily at the blue line, and here's Jake Bear going to loft it all the way down, and we're going to have an icing whistle.
You see this a lot in hockey. The Chisago, better team coming into this game. You got them 1-0. You're hanging with them. Maybe their confidence is a little down. But then you put them on the power play, and now guys get their confidence back, controlling the puck, get pucks towards the net. It's just such a huge swing when you start taking penalties and give that team the confidence back.
Well, and I don't know if what their basketball team's like at Chisago Lakes, but they certainly have at least 5 or 6 guys that are bigger than 6 feet on the hockey team, and that's a big advantage. Yeah. Especially if they're athletic, too.
Absolutely. Yeah, they've got kind of the whole spectrum. They probably
they've got the little guys and the quick guys.
Yeah, from what I've seen so far, I think they probably got the smallest player in the league and the largest. So they've got they got the full spectrum of size and height and weight. There's Bushy now across the middle.
Oh, nice job by Curtis. He's momentarily taken off by Haskins on a check, but puck is chopped at down low. St. Louis Park wins a battle. Just shot. Unfortunately for the Orioles, Nicky Owens was not able to get a little help there as that hit off the blocker of Owens, or Thompson back there. St. Louis Park able to gain possession again and try to win something in front here. Just a little over 4 minutes remaining in the second period, as I believe that was Nick Owens and Nick Hames on the rush here. Sagenza on the weak side. Carlos and Curtis behind the net. Curtis passes it out front. No help, but Knutson comes crashing the net and tries to win that battle. Jermusic able to hold it in nicely with good contact. Over to Sagenza. Sagenza looking for his first of the year. Carlos goes out and rings the dinner bell.
And smart icing by Chisago. They were bottled up. They were tired. They had their third line out there, and here came the Orioles with some nice pressure.
Hey, what started is what I want to see Lucas Savage and Greenbush do more is take the puck wide and try to draw penalties by their big defensemen.
Yeah.
They are quicker.
Trying to get some hooking calls or slashers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, you got some big guys back there that maybe can't move as well as Bushy or Luka, and they just need it.
Lazati and Lushenko back to the other Lushenko. Boy, you talked about those two little guys and But yeah, Danny, totally agree with what you're saying.
I just think Kurt and Jake need to start taking advantage and take those guys wide, drive to the net.
Well, this is the cycle line. Lushenko, Lazati, and Lushenko. These guys just know where each other are at, and they're 2 ninth graders and a junior. And here's Landon Lushenko not able to get that pass from his brother. And Landon ridden off the puck hard by TJ Rempfer. Landon can't be any bigger than Bauer Neudecker. There's no way he can.
No, and quick hands.
Yeah.
Very, very similar to Bauer. I think, we'll be seeing Bauer come up next year. He's been getting a lot of experience at the Bantam A level.
Here's Danny Murray behind the net with a nice wrist shot held out. Yeah, and we should mention, how has the Bantam A and Pee Wee A teams been doing, guys? Talk a little bit about the Pee Wee A tournament this weekend.
Danny, you want to start out?
Sure, yeah. No, I mean, that was my first time up to Eveleth, but for those that haven't been up to Eveleth, if you can plan a tournament up there, do it, because it's probably one of the top 3 historical rinks in Minnesota. And you got the Hockey Hall of Fame up there and everything too, and it's just a great atmosphere to be in, and they do their tournaments right.
And the good news is the Pee Wee A team beat Double A school Hibbing.
Oh, great.
And then they came back and beat Duluth Denfeld.
Wow.
And ended up losing in the championship game, finishing second in the tournament. But, you know, to see us get up and play in a tournament where they gave us 17-minute periods, did the ice after the periods, really see them play a high school type of game against some top talent up there. And, of course, us being a single-A school, Hillsy got that right in the chest.
I think he's a little hurt there, and they're going to
get a penalty on Park here.
Yeah.
Joe Kramer kind of went after a guy.
No, that's great, though. So winning the first two and then the third one, and a lot of talent and a lot of youth in that program. That's a good Pee Wee group you guys have, too.
A couple of them are right behind us here.
Yeah, a couple of those Pee Wees behind you?
Looking for
free publicity, maybe?
Free publicity after the period.
Guys, no autographs till after the intermission. Sorry about that.
Unfortunately, I see they called a trainer right over to Hillsy right away. Hopefully he's okay. Now, the penalty, I didn't see it on Joey. Must have been a center ice away from the play.
Yeah, he, the defenseman dumped it the other way. He kind of took about 5 strides and went up high on him.
Yeah, and Sargent out front of the net this time again, as the Orioles will try to hang on here. Just under 2 minutes remaining, and you're going to have Sargent out there, 24, along with, you've got Reynolds and Haskins out at the point. And then you've got a lot of bodies in front. We'll see as they keep banging on it. Try to go on the redirect as Frommer able to get the foot over there. Slide momentarily. Just 1:30 remaining. Remfer out there for St. Louis Park along with Hames and Jermusic. And nice job by Kurt Greenbush as he wins the battle on the war and is able to get it to center ice where Justin Bai shoots it in for the Wildcats momentarily. So the Orioles will try to get, after I believe 2 successive power play goals, Orioles looking for a change here. No icing call. We'll see what Frommer does with the puck. He probably went the wrong direction that time. He had
there wasn't
2 Chisago players over there. So.
Yeah, and it was hard for him to read who he had coming on the back, but that 24 must have just got a piece of that. Otherwise, it would have been an ice.
And here's Reynolds again with that good shot back at the point. Reynolds and Thompson. Thompson, there's Spike, just misses the net. Greenbush loses that war to Sargent down low. Here's Thompson again with 17 on the year. Oh, look on the weak side for Spike. Not able to find him, but a nice piece of work here. Shot out front, and there's the garbage man almost able to bring that home. Sargent standing right where he should there.
Yeah, that was a beautiful save by Frommer, and little redemption. I'm glad when he stops at 24. Likes to get in the crease. He likes to get in front of them, and he likes to taunt after he scores.
There's nothing worse than getting scored on than getting taunted, I would think. Kind of like when you're serving up the home run ball in baseball, Danny, and then you circle the bases and yell at the guy. We have 4 goals in that second period, 2 on the power play by Chisago, as Thompson, Sargent, and I believe Zambrecht, along with one other goal scorer there. And after 2, we're at 4-0. We're going to be joined momentarily here by the new, John's going to step away, and Danny Bissonetta and I are going to be joined by Jim. Go ahead, take a seat. We got a little camera here. Jim Nunn, the new baseball coach at St. Louis Park, is going to join us here, and we got a little camera here. Jim, wanted to thank you for joining us here. And thanks for stopping by. Your son Tim had a game tonight, I hear, so you rushed right over. Yeah.
Yes, they got beat 2-1 by Minnetonka.
Okay. So, and he's in the Pee Wee level, right? 7th grade?
Yep.
You were telling me he's a pretty big young man, too.
Yeah, he's taller than I am right now, and he's 12.
Wow. So you're feeding him something good out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and I wanted Danny to join. In case everybody hasn't met, this is Jim Nunn, the new baseball coach at St. Louis Park. He's no stranger to coaching athletics at the high school level. Longtime wrestling and head baseball coach at Minnetonka.
Right.
And then I know for 4 years you assisted Mike Olson out at Edina.
Yep.
And then you coached in the college game last spring too. So we're really getting, I know we're real excited to have such an experienced, organized coach. And go ahead and just introduce yourself and some of your philosophies and what you're looking for. Yeah.
Well, one of the things in high school sports, I truly believe it's an opportunity for us to continue to learn. And for these kids, you know, we have some pretty good players from what I've been told. I haven't been able to see them play yet, but I think we have kids that are getting ready to play college ball. I think I'm going to be able to help them to get prepared for the college ball. Our big goal, though, is going to be prepared for the end of the year. If we can teach the kids how to handle certain situations and improve some of our skills, we're hoping to be right there at the end of the section tournament.
Well, and we should mention, too, you played at Concordia, I believe, right? Did you wrestle in college as well?
I did.
Played baseball? That must have been quite a lot to juggle. You went to Concordia in St. Paul, right? Yeah.
Well, at that time, it was National Little College. It wasn't a Division II level. But my college baseball coach used to always say, I have no idea why I gave a wrestler a baseball and said pitch.
What weight class did you wrestle in college?
177.
Okay. And you know, when I was in 9th grade, when Mike Olson, who's going to be your assistant, his senior year of high school was the last year Park had a wrestling team. I know, as I was growing up, I know a lot of kids that wrestled, but maybe that'll be something eventually down the road. We got to get some numbers up. And I know baseball practice officially doesn't start until Monday, March 18th, but from my understanding, you've been having open gyms on Wednesday night, and go ahead and just tell us what some of the things kids can get involved in the next 2 months if they want. Yeah.
Sure. We have captain's practice on Wednesday. Matt Ling, who's going to be our 9th grade coach, he's new to the program as well. He's coming over from Edina. He helps to supervise that program. And then Marcus McKenzie, who played at Minnetonka, still holds the state record for ERA, gave up 1 earned run in the 2002 season.
Wow. He was like Mr. Baseball, wasn't there, if there was a thing? Or?
Well, he was the Metro Player of the Year.
Yeah.
His junior year. He's doing some training programs. Some of our kids have hired him, and he does a training program for them on Sunday mornings.
And I know my boys have been taking advantage of that. And Danny, if you want to chime in too, I think they can still take part if they want to pay a few dollars and have Marcus train with them from 8 to 10 a.m. on Sunday mornings. And then you've also got the youth kids going after that on Sundays too, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's an excellent opportunity for all the high school kids to get out there, not only if they're not a pitcher. I mean, Marcus, if you listen to him, he's well trained in training hitters, pitching, infielded. I think, what was he, like all-regional first baseman in the tournament?
Center field.
Yeah, and center fielder. So yeah, he's just well-rounded in all aspects of the game, and it's a great opportunity for our kids to learn from someone like that, and who comes obviously from a baseball background with his dad being around the game for like the last 40 years, coaching too. So I was happy. Just so happened I ran into him one time at Target Field when I was helping one of my friends who works with Marcus.
Oh, okay.
Kind of thought, hey, I wonder, I knew he was a pitching coach, and I was like, maybe he'll want to come out and help some of our guys. And it worked out, and I think the kids are learning a lot, and I think so it's January right now, beginning of January, and I think they're already throwing about 30 pitches from off the mound in January. And when we had our success 2 years ago with pitching, when we had 6 complete games in our first 6 games, it came because kids were throwing bullpens, 20, 30 pitch bullpens in January, and once March, April came around, their arms were used to throwing that much. They could handle throwing 80 to 100 pitches in a game. So.
Well, and just a reminder, if you're interested and you haven't thought about signing up for baseball this year, the traveling program and the Little League have a combined St. Louis Park baseball website. Right. And I know there's a lot of information on there. I know my younger boy Kyle's playing with the 15 AAA team, and they've been doing some Friday night workouts with Mr. Eberly too. And so a lot of options. And Jim was at Minnetonka for, was it 8 or 9 years as the head coach? But then before that, we probably, and a wrestling coach for a long, long time too. Right. So really excited to have you. And I'm really excited on a personal note too. I know we haven't really had, Danny and I talking about this, but we really haven't had a pitching coach in theory since Chad Austin stepped away a few years ago. And it's really going to be nice to have you and then Mike Olson, who graduated in '80 from Park and was a second-round draft pick, is coming over as your assistant coach. And kind of a role reversal for you too, right? Are you looking forward to that too?
Yeah. He's a great guy. He's a wonderful guy, and when the St. Louis Park job was posted, he called me right away and said, I want you to apply for it.
Okay.
He kind of stepped up. There's one other thing I can say for this year.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
I just had a meeting with Andy Ewald, the athletic director, and he's let us know that we're going to be guaranteed a JV team this year. So we're going to be able to fill the freshman, sophomore, JV, and varsity. And I'm kind of excited for that because we need kids to play.
Right, exactly.
We don't need them to sit. More at bats, more fielding.
Right.
You know, more innings pitched. You're going to get better and better and better.
Right. And we should mention too. We were talking earlier, Jim, that this is formally this is the last year of the traditional North Suburban Conference with Chisago, St. Francis, and North Branch going away. But you're going to have you're changing the schedule up quite a bit, so we're going to utilize a lot more challenging non-conference games. And with what happens with the conference next year, it'll be interesting too how that shakes out. So
right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think it's important that the level that we have to play at the end of the year to get to the state tournament is a level we should be playing as much as possible. And that's what we've done with our non-conference schedule. Every game we play is a section game for non-conference.
Well, and make sure kids or parents, if you're watching this, there's a baseball Facebook group, and there's now a Twitter group too to get the word out on the Wednesday night captains, the Sunday mornings, and then I know there's a possibility if the weather breaks, or whatever in late March when spring break occurs, that some of the kids might be going out of town for a couple days depending on weather and to get some work in. I think your first game's around April 5th, so not a lot of time between March 18th, but you have to be very, very organized, and I know you are, and glad to have Danny still part of the roster too from being with us the last few years.
Well, we are too. When I was able to meet with Danny, it wasn't me interviewing him to see if he wanted to stay. I said, Danny, this is your opportunity to interview me to see if you want to be a part of it.
Right.
I've heard a lot of good things about him. We have a good friend who I teach with at Minnetonka whose son grew up with Danny. And so I knew I wanted him to stay. I just needed him to feel comfortable to stay with us.
Well, and I'm really excited on a personal note too. I had heard my younger boy Kyle has been throwing a little bit with Archie Olsen on Sundays, and I asked him one day, I said, who's this Archie? And he said, Archie Olsen, I think his dad's a baseball coach. And then I found out it was Mike's son who's open enrolled at Park. And maybe if we roll out the red carpet nicely, we can build a good long-term relationship with your family too. I know you've had some loss in the last couple years with your other boy Jimmer passing away, but
actually it was Timmy. Timmy is the one who passed away. Okay. Jimmer's a sophomore at Gustavus, studying to be a teacher and a baseball coach.
Oh, okay. Gustavus.
What a great college to go to.
That's where. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But you have to wonder how good of a college it is if they accepted Danny, right? No, I won't go there. Well, I don't know if you have any final words. I'm just really glad if you see Mr. Nunn. I wanted everybody to put a face to the name because they'd seen some of the stories in the paper, but a lot of times people might not recognize you, and really looking forward, and we'll hopefully see you around. And I should mention this Saturday or Sunday too. It's the Legion Pancake Breakfast over at the Legion from, I believe, 9 to 1. Tickets are $5, and that's formerly not part of the high school program, but almost all the kids take part in Junior Legion or Legion. So make your way over to the Legion, and that'll help us. And lastly, wanted to thank you and Danny too. We did get Dakota Field, as we've talked about many times, renamed Derek Keller Field. Paul and I had put up a graphic the last game we did on how you can donate to the scoreboard, which we hope will happen, and hopefully eventually after we can get the scoreboard dealt with, I hope we're able to get some large gifts so we can fund that Derek Keller scholarship too.
Yes. I can tell you, we lost Timmy in 2009, and one of the things that helped us as a family get through it was the community support that we had. And I think the Keller family is, it doesn't go away.
Right.
People need to be there.
Yeah, and special shout out to Bob. There's the address if you do want to donate. Of course, Derek was 18 when he passed away. All the checks are tax deductible, and I know Danny's trying to get the word out to some of his rather wealthy high school friends. I don't know how wealthy they are, but we'll find out. But if you do want to make a donation, all the proceeds are going. We're trying to raise about $10,000 for our part of the scoreboard and then work on some other things. Happy that we did get a grant for $8,000 to fund some equipment you needed that's being used too. So That's all I've got. Danny, anything you want to else bring up? Or?
I just hope it comes spring pretty soon here.
Yeah.
Excited to get going.
Yeah, I think so too. Sometimes as a goalie parent after that period, I think spring needs to sprung pretty fast. So, well,
Yes.
nice to meet you, and hope to introduce you to some of the guys after the game if you can hang around. Thanks again.
Right.
And we'll step away for just a minute. I have to use the facilities. So,
Right. Thanks.
You could choose to join a gang. You could try the latest drugs. You could even choose to drop out of school. You can try to avoid the difficulties in life with a quick fix, or you can face them head on. She did. Make the right choices today and be ready for the challenges tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
All right, well, here we are about ready to get going for the third period. I'm here with head coach Donnie Williams from the St. Louis Park girls varsity team. And Donnie, you just walked in the building from a big game out in Hutchinson. Why don't you give us a little bit recap how that game went for the Orioles?
The girls played really well tonight. We got some good scoring out of our forward lines and solid game out of goal, and we came back the 6-1 winner tonight.
Well, it's nice to see you guys get a win and nice to see you guys get some goals.
Well, you know, the kids work really hard, and like I was saying before we went on, we break out of the zone well, we get decent goaltending, we play the neutral zone well, and tonight we got it in the offensive zone too, so it was nice to see it all the way around.
Nice to see you guys finish some goals and put a W on the board.
Yep.
Now this year, you know, obviously I've been around the rink a lot, and having a couple daughters on the squad have been around. It seems like it's been a tough year for you guys to manage as far as injuries.
Well, we've had, I think, 5 concussions this year. We just got a girl back from she took a shot in the knee the other night and had an elbow injury. So yeah, we've been a little fragile. I guess it would be one way to put it.
And not just the girls, but you as well. Donnie came up
Farmer,
here
yeah,
with his crutch. You knew I'd go there with the crutches. Just don't swing those crutches at me. You're the walking wounded. I haven't seen you in a while, but I called you after Donnie had surgery, and you're feeling okay though now?
Yeah, I don't like casts, and it's a long haul, but yeah, it's getting better.
As we get ready to drop the puck for the third period, we're going to have Donnie sit with us the whole third and visit about the girls program. Donnie, just a really rough 4-minute stretch in the second period there where St. Louis Park ended up with 3 consecutive penalties and several shots from the point, and they parked number 24, Mr. Sargent, in front of the net for some goals. And but we're 4-0 heading into the third period here. And for the Orioles, the 7-9-11 line out there with Owens, Hames, and Greenbush. And here's number 29, Landon Lushenko, on the rush for Chisago to his brother Trevor out front. Oh, tie-up, shot by Lazzotti, goes wide. Nice set of moves by Lushenko, and I think we have a net off its mooring. So that those 2 little 9th graders, Landon Lushenko and Brett Lazzotti, really are feisty around the net. And there you see Trevor almost stuffing it. I don't think Farmer, I don't know if he was going to get the pad there in time, but
He's got long legs. He'll be okay.
Yeah. Getting a little bit of a workout. The boys team's been having a tough time getting some consistent goals scored.
Yeah.
They had 1 on Saturday, but a few shutouts last week as well. And we'll see if we can get things going in the third here. Nice headman pass by Jermusik, unable to find Jake Bear home, but Bear with a nice takeaway as he takes it off the stick of Haskins down low. Here's Lucas Savage on the near wall, trying to find a forward out front, but nobody home on his pass to Knutson. Little dump and chase, doesn't find anybody home except for TJ Remper. Remper unable to break pressure on his own zone as Haskins holds in here. And it looks like we're going to have a nice early on. Donnie, you've got a makeup game, I think, next week too, don't you?
We play Spring Lake Park Tuesday, and actually the face-off time is 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so it is a makeup game.
Tuesday, is that here at 4 o'clock?
It's home, yep.
Is that what that was in relation to the passing of Carly when you last? So 4 o'clock Tuesday, if you're not doing anything, I believe, and then the playoffs do start in the next week?
The section seating meeting is this Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. And I think our first section game is going to be on the 8th, I think it's going to be around 5:30 over Parade.
Okay, so you play, usually you play at Parade.
Yeah,
and the 8th would be on a Friday night, too.
Friday night, yeah. We haven't seeded yet, but, you can get a feel for the way things have gone in the section, so.
Here's the Thompson, Spike, Brayfogle line out there again for the Wildcats. Bloom and Haskins at the point for them. Excuse me, Bloom and Sargent at the point. Possible 2-on-2 break, and a nice pass that time by Plender. He passed it over to Greenbush, unable to get anything materialized in terms of a quality chance. And the Wildcats miss on the home run pass. Donnie, talk a little bit about, I know we don't want to move to the end of the season yet, but since this is one of our last games we're covering hockey-wise, why don't you talk a little bit about some of what you and Jake and the crew hope to do this summer, and how you encourage the girls to play hockey and get more younger girls involved?
Well, for the first time in maybe forever in the girls program, we are running a program with our kids this summer. We'll skate, right now it's set up to skate Tuesday, Thursday mornings for an hour, and then we'll do we'll do a lot of the conditioning and trialing and weight training right here.
Okay.
There is a program that the high school offers.
The strength. But.
Right, but if we can get the kids here, and they were excited. Last year we had something set up, but it didn't go through, and the kids were excited to play and skate in the summer in the mornings. It gives them the rest of the afternoon to do whatever they want to do, and get ready for lacrosse or soccer or whatever. So we're going to go in the mornings, a couple days a week, and then do weight training and stuff here, do conditioning.
Will you run that, Donnie? I know you're a teacher by trade, so you're not going to get a lot of beauty sleep on Tuesday, Thursday. You're going to be up at the crack of dawn?
Well, if you can see my face, beauty sleep has never worked really well anyway. Thanks for setting that up, Frommer. But
you walked right into it cleanly, though.
Yeah.
You could have avoided it.
Yeah. But I'll be here, and Al Rabine will be here.
Okay.
So, and we'll just do a lot of skating. I think we're going to combine not only the high school girls, but the U12, some of the U12s, and
beautiful drop pass that time. And Lucas Savage off the crossbar there. Nice drop pass by Alphen.
Second pipe we've had tonight. Carlos rang that dinner bell earlier, rang the bell, and now Lucas Savage rings one off the pipe. So
nice drop pass here by TJ. He's got a little pressure. He has that D-man takes him, and then Luca right from the top of the dot there. Now, Donnie, are there anything if parents are interested in maybe like getting their kids a first time to skate, or is there anything they can do come springtime or summer if they want to hook up with, if they got a 6th or 7th grade girl, or they hasn't tried hockey before? Or?
Well, there's some stuff that goes on with the youth program in St. Louis Park.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if we know exactly what's going on with the younger kids yet. And they may still be part of Sean's program that he runs here.
Okay, yeah, because Sean's got that with the
kids. So that anybody that is interested or wants their kids to try can go on to the sophockey.org site.
Oh, the data. Yeah, exactly.
For the youth program, and that will be there. I can be emailed through that site and answer any questions anybody has for kids that are just starting and want to play.
And we should mention, as almost everybody knows, Donnie was the girls' assistant to Tim Donahue with Paul Olsen for 15 years. And
I'm going to catch you, Frommer, the boys. I'm going to catch you on that.
Yeah, I mixed it up. And then now he's in his second year. And you've got an all-park kind of coaching staff with Jake Evers, Al Rabine, and Josh Schwartout. And you moved closer to the park because you just felt the need to recently. So it's good to have you in Bloomington. We would have loved to have you further north, but we'll have to take that for now.
Yeah, well, Bloomington's what it is. Some battles you don't win, and the wife liked the place we looked at in Bloomington, and that's it. So
right.
I got to answer to that.
And we got a couple of goalie experts up here. Bays from his time at Edina and Madison and UW Stevens Point. Donnie, we were talking before the game. Bays played at UW Stevens Point, and I think his last college game was at River Falls, and the coach for Chisago over there was on the River Falls team in '88. So it's kind of rivalry here. Mays, you need to get him back. River Falls beat you then.
I hear you. Although I wish it wasn't 88, but it was 98. But you know, the years fly by. But no, it's you know, it's interesting how small the hockey community is and how you run into people from different eras that are still around the rink and still enjoy seeing the game.
Yeah, it's hard to believe that was 25 years ago, Bays. And I have to make a confession, Donnie and Bays. Your very last game in college, I was one of those fans at Hunt Arena chanting, I kid you not, chanting, Basil, You may or may not remember that, but we were pretty loud. We only had like 900 fans at that rink, but
well, that was a barn though.
That was a tiny little place, boy.
It was a tiny little place. It was very loud in there. It was a tough building to play in, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's a good call. Well, you see the Lucas Savage out there with Jesse Knutson and Jake Bear as the Orioles are mixing some line combinations up here in the third. Here's Knutson still trying to wrap it around there and crack the scoring log. Hills again with some good speed. St. Louis Park, just under 10.5 minutes remaining, and Thompson's done a nice job in net for them. He's had, 6-8 pretty good chances. Lucas Savage has really fired the puck a lot at him today with not a lot of results except for a couple of crossbar.
Yeah, the Lucas Savage, Jake Bear line in the third has with Jesse has really been playing well. They've had a good forecheck. They've kept it down there. They've rang a post. They've been looking very good out there.
And here's Sargent, who got a goal in the second period, parked him in front of that on the power play. And here's the Lushenko-Lazati line. Landon Lushenko attempting to lay a forecheck on the Wildcats. Donnie, we were talking
power play coming up for the Orioles. So
we had one of the girls' games last year where you played Chisago Lakes, and I think they had Megan Lushenko.
Yep. 2
more Lushenkos out here. Plus the other one, Corey, graduated 2 years ago. It's just a pipeline.
It's, kind of back with the boys years ago at Breck when every year there was a new Fulton.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So Orioles will go on the power play here as Mr. Sargent can't remove anybody in front of the net, and Jermusik out to the point to Hills. Hills on the near side, get some traffic. Nice job on the rebound as well. Nice piece of work by Thompson making the initial save, and Greenbush crashing the net. Not able to knock it home, but Charlie keeps it low. But nice line of vision for Thompson there. If Curtis was a little bit over, it might have interfered with his vision a little more. Here's Hills after the face-off draw win. Hills and Lucas Savage playing catch. Jermusik, wrister partially blocked, goes behind the Wildcat net.
Good opportunity here, Farmer, for the Orioles with Sargent being out. One of their biggest, strongest defensemen that has been a terror for the Orioles tonight.
Right.
Not in front of the net to help out on the PP. It gives the Orioles a chance to work it down deep and see if they can bang home a rebound.
We should mention, too, that the Orioles play Friday night at home against Totino, and then next Monday at home to St. Francis. So if you're not busy Friday or Monday, those games are here at the Rec Center. And then Donnie's got the girls here Tuesday at 4. So plenty of hockey to watch as we wind down the regular season. Also want to throw a shout out to Jake Phobie, who stopped by earlier tonight. Jake, going for his 6th consecutive Donnie State Championship in Special Olympics floor hockey. He's got a state tournament this weekend, and he wanted everybody to know to come on out to Hastings if you can come Saturday or Sunday.
Yep. Phobes is quite the competitor. Great kid.
He takes the losses hard too, boy, still. He really does. He was telling me the other day, Frommer, I just want to win. Here's spiked with speed, number 8. Goes to the backhand, but partially ridden off the puck that time by Lucas Savage and unable to convert that opportunity. He did have Thompson with him on the weak side. Hills.
I'll give Luca a lot of credit. He fired that puck about 2 feet wide, which gave him a 2-man break. But I'll give him credit because he knew it. He sure hustled back on the back check and made sure he disrupted that play.
And if he didn't shoot so hard, the puck wouldn't have carried all the way down. But I don't know if we have that whole sequence. There you go. There's that was just that last sequence.
Right.
But as you take a look here, here's Malarkey with TJ Halfin along with Jake Bear out there, and Thompson, not sure if that would have gone high, but Thompson trying to hold on to the shutout here with the 8:42 mark.
You know, a much better period for the Orioles this period so far. They've come out, it's been balanced like the first period. You know, you take away that 5-minute stretch in the second, and we'd have a hell of a ball game. And it all came down to the power play penalty kill again.
It did. There was just such a sequence there. And you know, I looked at the first meeting of the year. Chisago won 4-1, and 3 of their 4 goals were in a 3-minute stretch in the second period of that game too. So they must do something in the first period, and then they go back to the Orioles side. Just 10 seconds remaining in the power play for St. Louis Park. Possibly time for another rush, as you've got Halfin and Lucas Savage on the far end here. And there's Knack still trying to kill the penalty out at the point, and that'll make it full strength for them as Sargent back on the ice for Chisago. This could be the biggest unit I've ever seen out there right now with Sargent and Knack. And Johnny, I don't know how tall their basketball team is, but I think they know it. Here's Knack on a possible break, 27. Hills, nice job pinning him on the far board there, but Knack able to win that battle with strength. Right out front again. Puck is shot in, possibly wide. Swooped around that time as 22 O'Connor not able to hold it in for Chisago.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of size out there. Wow.
I know. I was just looking at those 4, especially when that's seriously like big league size. I mean, Sargent's got to be 6'2", 6'3", and
you know,
23.
I wonder if any relation to the old North Star Gary Sargent. You know,
boy, he was a tough.
He was a tough big blue liner as well.
I don't know if he had that height though, Bays.
Yeah. This Sargent's a little taller, no doubt about it.
Donnie, I wish you'd get a chance to watch the second period of this game. How they parked him about 6 inches into the blue on the power play, and Frommer's trying to mess with him and get him with the stick, and then he taunted him twice after 2 goals.
That's what we're trying to get, John. That's what we're trying to get your daughter Anna to do.
Yeah,
plant herself in front
of her instead of the net and take the hits. Yeah,
take the hits, and there comes Sargent up with some force.
Yeah.
They move Sargent from defense up to forward, and they literally plant him right in the top of the crease, and let him be a screen, a tip, a rebound, and he's effective at it, no doubt about it.
Well, these guys were 12-4 until they just were on a 3-game losing streak. Although one of the losses was 5-4 to Totino. So I know they returned like 17 of their lettermen, so they had a lot of experience coming back, and obviously a lot of size. But I like the youth they've got well served here too. There you see Brayfogle down there along with Lushenko into the corner. Nice battle down there. It's one of the Orioles able to corral and pinch Lizotti off momentarily. Puck is shot wide of the net and high that time by Reynolds. Greenbush trying to check Lizotti, and Lushenko off the puck. Does so momentarily. Curtis, no quit in him as he's pushing a lot of weight around there, and he throws his weight down on one of the players hard there. No penalty though, as Curtis with a momentary steal. And boy, we got bodies flying all over the place here. It's like a rugby scrum almost.
Yeah, and you know, it's nice the Orioles are stepping up playing that physical play. Chisago, as we know, is a physical team, and they've been taking it to us a little bit. And as long as we're doing it cleanly, right? You know, you get your opportunity, separate the man from the puck, and pick it up and drive it forward.
Hey, Donnie, while we get you, I know we weren't able to televise your senior night, but why don't you talk a little bit about your graduating seniors, and if you have anything you want to say about them, as the Orioles are going to get a power play here momentarily.
Well, two of the seniors have been here since the 7th grade. I think Megan Behrens and Hannah Broderson.
Yeah.
I know I helped when I was with Tim and the boys. I spent a year coaching Hannah when she first came in with the girls with Mike, when Mike Peluso was here. And
sure.
And Hannah's a competitor. She likes to win. She wants to play. Unfortunately, she's one of our concussed players. She got a concussion about 3 weeks ago and has yet been cleared. So she didn't get a chance to play senior night, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, is it still kind of a wait and see whether she might be able to play, or is she out for the season probably? Or
it sounds like she's making progress, and they're going to do another evaluation for her tomorrow and see where she's at. She may be able to do a light skate in practice tomorrow and see. Be nice to get her a game, you know, that that makeup game against Spring Lake Park. It'd be nice to have Hannah play that game. So she's given a lot to the program and done a lot. So she deserves that chance. Sophia Kiefer is the one that when you tell her to do something, it's okay, coach, thank you, coach, apologizes for whatever mistakes. And
really just so respectful all the time.
Yeah, it's like when we last year when we came in and took them down south, we gave them their assignments to do in the D zone, and she couldn't do it, and she'd come to the bench and we'd be like, Sophia, you got to do this, and she'd smile and say, sorry, coach, and after 4 or 5 times you just look at each other and go, you can't yell at her anymore.
Right.
You just can't, because she makes you smile when she smiles at you. Sophia's been great, and Megan plays this game with a lot of passion and a lot of heart. And she's a skilled hockey player, and we're going to miss all 3 of them for what they bring on the rink, what they bring off the rink, and
right. And I know they were sure very happy young ladies too with the new locker room that got done, and we covered that one of the games.
That whole thing was pretty phenomenal. A lot of parents came to the front and helped get it going. The kids had a responsibility; they had to paint it, and had parents building lockers and staining wood, and it's a phenomenal locker room.
Well, Donnie, you've got a special guest. Why don't I go ahead and introduce who you've got up here? No, Paul, if we could take a quick fly up on the camera here. We've got a special Basil guest. Go ahead, introduce yourself, young lady.
I'm Anna Basil.
And you got something special happened tonight. What occurred on the ice tonight?
We got a very good win against Hutchinson, 6-1.
Oh, that's great, and congratulations. And I know you've got a makeup game on Tuesday. Donnie and I were just talking, have everybody come out Tuesday at 4.
Yeah.
And Jesper scored last game, the Finnish Flash. Shout out to Jesper's dad. He's watching right now live over in Finland. So anything you want to report about Jesper's behavior? Or?
Nope, he's been good. Fun to have in the house. So.
All right. And Donnie, Anna, we had talked a lot about your sister doing slowly better, it sounds like, too. Elena, after the serious concussion, she's now with her 3rd concussion, she's not making you do a lot of the extra chores around the house. Is she
is, but
really?
that was before the concussion too. So.
Oh, okay. So nothing new there. Okay.
Right.
Well, Donnie, you should fire away with a question. This is Get to Know Anna Basil here on the St. Louis Park Connection.
I don't know if I have any questions for Anna. I get to see Anna just about every day. So.
Oh, a nice hard check to Anna. This was a really strange game. It was a 4-minute sequence in the second where they got a couple power play goals and then another one out front, as we do have a delayed penalty being whistled here. And aside from that, and a lot of height on this Chisago Lakes team.
Yeah.
Now your dad is the super busiest man I've ever known. He, John, we didn't even talk. How did the Discover St. Louis Park meeting go last night? Did everything go through? Anna, thank you for joining us. We don't mean to cramp your style. Did everything go good with the city council?
Yeah,
Discover St. Louis Park is
absolutely, Farmer. It was nice. We just kind of hit our first full year of operation, and it was nice to kind of give a report of our marketing efforts, really regionally and even nationally or internationally. Some up in Canada of where we've been coming. But boy, we just got another
penalty here. I'm not sure.
I saw the hit. It looked, it was very. It was a hit along the boards. Sometimes you don't know if it. We'll have to see the replay. If the elbow came up, they called elbowing.
Well, here's the young guns out there for them. Here's Lazzotti, the freshman at the point. He's got Lushenko, and here's the master one-timer, Reynolds. It's about the 5th one-timer he's rifled from over there.
Look who's in front of the net again.
Yeah, there's the same guy out front. Sargent just parked on there. Him and Ryan battling. Farmer's got to get that stick where the sun don't shine a few times, I think.
Yeah.
And just shot wide by Curtis. Orioles still 2:13 remaining, 1:25 in the power play here. Not a lot of action in the 3rd period. Some good chances for the Orioles. And here's Trevor Lushenko. He's got Sargent down there, held in, and here's Reynolds again at the point, being ridden off the puck momentarily by Greenbush. Reynolds with a wrister on, and Fromm able to corral that. Him and Sargent not thinking about exchanging holiday cards this year. That is one thing I can be sure of.
No, I'm sure that will not occur. And of course, they're going to leave him out there for the second half of this power play. And
sure,
we're going to watch 24. Now the ref just gave 24 a warning. I don't know what about.
Yeah, he should have done that a while ago.
Yeah.
I think. So
here he goes, Sargent, win off the draw. You know, you put those defensemen up front on these power plays, and boy, they get excited about getting in that stat sheet. I don't have to tell you that, Bays, right?
No, they get an opportunity to get a goal. They want it.
Nice job that time by TJ Hoffman, able to circle it in. Orioles have been able to get most guys off the bench, as Danny Maria seen some ice tonight. I know Carlos Agenza seen some playing time. Be interesting as we move forward what kind of changes the Orioles will make. Here's Chambers, just sweeps it down low where Renfroe will corral that thing and push it up the far wall. In St. Louis Park with TJ Hoffman able to scoot. Nice move right to left by the junior Hoffman. Takes the drop pass, unable to get any help from Malarkey in that sequence. Just 1 minute remaining here in the third period. 20 seconds in the power play for Chisago Lakes. And for the Wildcats, they're going to move to 5-3 in the conference. They're in third place, right behind St. Francis and also behind undefeated Totino, who's 8-0. Ooh, nice poke check that time. We should mention Totino, who comes visiting Friday, is ranked third in the state in Class A. Breck is also in our section. They're ranked second behind St. Thomas Academy. Park's played quite a few of the good teams. We played Delano and Orono, and
Delano's a section opponent. It's a tough section to get through. So
yeah, but it'll be interesting when they have that seeding meeting. Just 25 seconds remaining here.
Donnie, have you heard anything more on the change in the conferences next year?
Yeah, have you heard anything? We were talking about that earlier.
I'm not sure that it's going to be next year. I know that Chisago and St. Francis are leaving the North Suburban, and I think that's next year. I don't think we're moving for another year after that. I don't.
Okay, so it'll be the same smaller version of the conference for next year.
But I know that Mr. Ewald's been talking to other teams, and there is another conference that I've received an email about a conference coming up that would pit us against the Bloomington teams, and
yeah, Kennedy and Jefferson and Richfield maybe, and
yep.
And it's hard, as that's going to do it here. As for Bryce Thompson and the Wildcats, a 4-0 win as 4 second period goals in a matter of 4 minutes and 10 seconds will do the trick, sending Park to a 4-15-1 balance sheet for Chisago Lakes. That'll push their mark to 13-7-1. Yeah, it'll be interesting what happens long term with the conference alignments. I know we just had Cooper last Thursday, and they're going to play as a hockey team next year for sure. And then there's everything so completely up in the air whether they'd be, as you know, the girls team from Armstrong and Hoover merged. So
well, I know from our perspective, we'd be okay with a conference change.
Yeah, it's Irondale and is really tough in girls hockey, and Chisago has been, and Benilde, and
well, I can go out on a limb here, and I will. There's no reason for teams like St. Francis or St. Louis Park to play Benilde St. Margaret's, whether it's a conference game or not.
Right.
Serves neither program. Doesn't do anybody any good. I know our kids were playing incredibly well up until the time we played them. And they're number 1 in AA in the state. We clearly aren't. And I don't know, just the way that thing goes doesn't help our confidence and doesn't really help our kids.
It's a tough, you got a small school like St. Louis Park and playing really probably, frankly, the largest school in the state in Benilde as far as the area where people go to school there. So you're not just playing a single town. You're playing a team that is a collection of probably 11 different suburbs.
Exactly.
And so you got one small suburb trying to play a collection of 11 bigger suburbs, and it becomes a very tall task to compete in a situation like that.
Oh, absolutely. And we are a community program, and we are trying to. A lot of what we do here is try to give the kids confidence and build up what they do. We have some skilled players. We have some good hockey players. Not every one of our kids is at that level. And just the way that game goes and the way it's handled, like I said, it doesn't serve either program.
Right.
So, I mean, I have the utmost respect for Ken Pauley for taking the boys program to AA over there.
Right.
And leaving the conference so he can play a tougher schedule. And, you know.
And I'm glad St. Thomas Academy for boys hockey has finally moved. I keep waiting to see what Breck's going to do if they win this. Well, I don't know if they'll win the state this year with STA and Totino around, but
it's tough. I don't know. I don't know the answer to evening out conferences. I mean, they can't figure out sections all the time either.
Right.
You know, so I don't know what it is, but clearly you want your conferences to be more competitive.
Right.
And with that one particular team in our conference, I mean, you just mentioned earlier how good Irondale was, and Benilde beat Irondale 8-0 early this year. So, you know, really, really, I want to grow a program. And it's when you come out of that game, you have to redo everything you've done that year to get the kids back, and it's. You know, sometimes it goes. Last year it went all right, and this year they kind of ran it up on us, and you know, we came out of that game a little shocked, and and it was a struggle for a while. The kids are playing hard again, and they're back, and you know, we're doing what we can do. Like I said, if we could score goals, play that well in every zone, it'd be all right. But there's games we should have won, and we could have come out of that. But some of that is that drains you.
Emotionally. It's hard. That's one of the hardest things I think is coaching. When you have, like 2 years ago when you're still here at Park and the wins, it was really tough. You weren't in a lot of games either last. I think that's one of the hardest things of coaching is how to get kids competing in practice still hard when they're not having success in the game environment. And is their work ethic, how can you challenge them and find small victories when it's not always that way, right?
See, last year when it wasn't a double-digit game, that was a small victory for our program.
Right. Yeah, absolutely, Donnie.
You know, and that's kind of not me, but I have to be realistic with what it is.
You have to be.
So,
come on out on Tuesday and see the last girls' home game at 4 o'clock here at the Rec Center, and then Donnie said it sounds like you'll play Friday the 8th for the first playoff game. Check gopark.org. That's gopark.org for all the schedules. And Paul, before I thank you and Misty and the crew here for the job, if you do want to get a copy of tonight's game, we didn't put up the graphic tonight, but you can go to www.parktv.org or call 952-924-2635 always for questions on programming. I know Thursday night Park TV is going to cover the Eden Prairie Benilde girls game, which is number 1 and number 2. I will not be here, but good programming. I will be here for the Park games.
Okay, I won't be here. I won't be here either, Frommer. How's that sound?
Say, Frommer, I have to say to Paul and Misty, we worked them hard tonight.
Did we ever? We didn't have any breaks.
And you know what? They're fantastic from getting all this stuff set up, and we happen to look at their schedule of Park TV coming up, and they are busy as heck. So to Paul and Misty and the crew in the truck that sets all this up, it's much appreciated from, I know, the entire community who gets to see all these community events, gets to see St. Louis Park. And, you know, this is, people don't realize how much Park TV is watched by St. Louis Park, interested in St. Louis Park's community, their kids, and what's going on. So thank you for all you guys do.
And thank you for those of you who choose to keep the sound up during these Park broadcasts. I can't blame you if you turn it down, but we appreciate it if you hear John and I out. So.
You guys do a great job.
We will see you real soon from the Rec Center. And reminder, Friday night, the boys basketball team, 7-0, takes on Cooper to see who can take it home in the boys North Suburban Conference for first place. So take care, everybody. Good night from the Rec.